Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I
you
was
tend
I used I was Upper West. I've never actually sat in Upper West.
it's a good seat. It's a good seat. We sat there for years, me and my dad, from sort of 2003, 2004 season, right through the Premier League. And then obviously Alan shifted everyone downstairs, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, because we
That's
weren't selling it out, that's why. I
so
kind of stopped going to the games when the alums were just after like just basically when they were just when they moved East fans basically. When they moved all of us like East threes and East twos and stuff.
yeah,
I
it was
just like
taking the piss, wasn't it?
it's taking the piss, so like I just like I'm not going to games. So then I got my East Nine membership last year or the year before, whenever it was. Basically when Ajin came.
Yeah,
Um because I was like, I'll go back to the games because I just generally just it was like fucking it was terrible. It was so bad.
it was
Um
horrible. The atmosphere was so toxic.
oh,
I
it was
didn't
just
want to go
so bad.
anymore. I didn't want to go anymore. So I was a bit like you,
Neither
but I
did
still
I.
went to the past. So
And I think because I lived in Scarborough, um I live a bit yeah, I moved house, but I because I lived in Scarborough, going to the games was like an hour and a half drive, but I loved it. But
yeah,
then, basically, when it just became not fun, I didn't want to go because it was just, you know what I mean? Like, especially when we gone from like 2008 Premier League with like fucking, with like all of our like really decent players and stuff, and then like
yeah.
up in it, Phil Brown era, and then like seeing like just all that like amazingly good feeling, and
All
then
fell apart, didn't it? Very quickly.
it fell apart. I can't believe how badly that fell apart as well. Though, like just it was just crazy. Like, but I just remember the first season in the Premier League, and just that season was amazing. I went to every away game, and I've
Did you?
yeah, pretty much. It
I
was
went to quite a
unbelievable.
few. Went to Tottenham, Blackburn, Man
Yeah, I went to
United.
Blackburn. I went to Blackburn. I went to Blackburn. I went to
Probably
Blackburn
saw you without even
Championship.
realising it.
Yeah, I went to Blackburn. Blackburn Stadium was very weird as well.
That
I
was
went
one
to
of
the
the first ones,
Emirates.
wasn't it? Was that the first one away we had? I'm sure it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
2008?
was something. I think it was. Yeah, because I went to Blackburn away. So was that when like Pedersen played for them and stuff as well?
Yeah, are we talking first season in Premier League here?
It would have been, yeah. Or did I go
2008.
when they're in Championship? I can't remember. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
probably one of my first away days. My first ever away day was Norwich in the playoffs. The Norwich
No, it's in the
away game.
playoffs.
Yeah, that was the first ever because I would have been. Well, I'm 26 now, so I would have been like 9 or something. That would have been like 9 or 10. But I went to Norwich away, and that was amazing because we beat Norwich. Did we beat them or did we draw?
You sure it won't? It won 2000. Is it the season we got promoted to the Premier League for the first time?
Yeah, that season.
Watford. That was Watford, mate.
Oh, not Norwich, Watford. Of course, it was Watford. What the hell am I on about? I had my shirt off in the crowd. I've got my signed top here as well. Funny enough, I was a mascot in that season. I was a mascot at Coventry that season. Away from home, we're at the Rico Arena, 2000 and whatever it was, 7 or whatever it would have been then. And yeah, Coventry away. I remember that game. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was at Watford last season when it was it 0-0, wasn't it, last season when we was heading for the playoffs?
Yeah, probably would have.
That was gutting. Long way to go for a 0-0.
Yeah. But I remember Watford. Yeah, I went to Watford away in the playoff semi-final, and then at home we absolutely battered them. That was
Yeah,
great as well.
yeah, we did.
And then I went to Wembley as well.
And we played well at their place because Barnby scored, didn't he?
Yeah, we played really well. I love that game. I remember because I remember after the game, all the fans went through the streets because Watford Stadium's a bit like around like
It is.
residential
It's
areas,
to a
isn't it?
street, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I remember all the whole fans getting like escorted out, just cheering and everything. That was amazing. That was my first ever away game, and I absolutely loved it.
Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, it was great. And then I went to pretty much I went to every big away game in the Premier League in our first ever season. So I went like
Yeah.
Man United, Arsenal. Went to the Arsenal 2-1 win.
Oh no way, you were there for that.
That was amazing.
That was real. That wasn't it?
That was the best game I've ever. That's what I mean. I went from being like going to them games to then having the alums, and that's where I fell out because that game was amazing. Giovanni and just it was just amazing. I've never ever been to a game like that in my life.
I remember watching it at Tanta Sport, and you was actually there. That would have been some.
Yeah, it was insane. Best stadium I've ever been to. Yeah, that goal was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I remember thinking as well, really, really weird memory, because obviously I was quite young, but I remember it so vividly. I remember Paul McShane playing like really well that game in right back. Like I remember him playing like really, for some random reason. I remember him thinking, "Why he's actually playing really good today," and I just remember, yeah, it was a
And the
really
lad
good
from
game.
Rangers, Cousins, he's got the second, didn't he?
Yeah, Cousins, mate. Yeah, what
Daniel
a player,
Cousins, yeah.
mate. I forget about Cousins, mate. God, yeah, I forget about Cousins. You
We've had
forget
some
about all
great
these
players
players.
over the years. We've had some really good players over the years. I mean, I'm not saying he was really good, but
No, I
during
thought,
that
to be
league
fair,
season,
I thought George Boateng was a really good player for us.
he was. Yeah,
I thought
that's why
Boateng was
we're probably
really
see
good.
it now.
Yeah, I thought Boateng was really good. Bullard was like weird because he kind of lost his legs when he kind of came to us. He was
I
all
never
right.
rated him. I thought it was a knob, if I'm honest. I
Well,
just think a bit of
not many fans did though, did they? Not, it was
nah.
he was a very weird signing. Like he was on a
Yeah,
lot of money as well, like a lot of
5 mil.
money.
A lot
Yeah,
of money at the time. That'd have been
and he,
25 million today's market.
I remember him being injured like a lot of the season as well. He was injured throughout a long time
Yeah,
of that season. He didn't play a lot. I just remember the bloody Man City goal that he scored, where it was after the Phil Brown
I
bollocking at
was
Man
there for
City.
that. Were you there for Man City on
No,
Boxing Day?
no, I didn't go to that.
I
And I
did.
just remember watching it on TV and watching everyone get bollocked because we're like 5-0 down at half time or whatever it was. And then
Well,
that was
I was
hilarious.
heading towards the toilet as you do at half time, and all of a sudden you
Yeah.
hear the crowd cheering. Like, what the fuck's going on? And then you turn around, and then
He's on the
what?
bloody thing.
He's on the match them back out.
It's unbelievable. I don't know why he even did that, but it was hilarious. But
I've
stuff
never
like
seen.
that, like it doesn't happen anymore, does it? Like stuff like that.
No, that was a rarity, wasn't it? And everyone said when he did it, he lost the dressing room, and it was probably right. So we got 1 point, didn't we, or something from
But I
like
remember
games.
that was in the first season we got promoted to the Premier League, wasn't it? Right?
First season, there was awesome
Yeah,
up until December, and then
yeah,
after that Man City battering and marching them back out, we were
yeah.
shit. We
Yeah,
think we did
because
on away, and that was it.
yeah, because I remember thinking I remember because I was such like I was only like 10. I remember when we were doing really well, obviously with the Arsenal win and stuff. We were quite high in the league. We were like
Joint
maybe
top.
like yeah, and I remember thinking, "This is amazing! This is amazing!" And then all of a
We
sudden,
missed the league.
after December, we didn't do anything. I remember thinking, "Oh God!" I remember thinking, "Oh, the one thing that crushed me, not really that season, but the season before, it was the summer transfer window in the Premier League was when we missed out on Fraser Campbell. You know, when
Oh yeah,
we
that was
couldn't convert the
devastating.
loan
7 million.
on
Yeah.
deadline day,
Oh,
I see him going to a different club. I was looking at deadline day on that night, thinking because I love Fraser Campbell. He was my favourite player. I
he's a
loved
man.
him.
One of
I
mine. Yeah,
loved him, mate. I absolutely loved him. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, he's gonna cut because he was at Man United, wasn't he? And he was in that Berbatov deal from Spurs
He
to
went
Man
exactly. He went
United.
to Tottenham. Yeah,
Yeah, because he was in Berbatov went to Man United and Spurs went, oh, we want a striker, so they gave him Fraser Campbell. So
I
I was
know.
like,
And that just back it all,
I
didn't it?
remember I was just fuming. I was fuming because I loved him. But yeah,
And that time, I think we were doing really well. We had about 35 points, which is a lot for Premier League halfway through season.
yeah.
And then we got about 6 or something afterwards. I think it might have been a bit less, but it wasn't a lot in the second half of the season. It was shocking.
No, no, yeah, but yeah, I've seen a lot.
You've got a bit faint, Steve. Okay, here you go,
Oh,
mate.
sorry. What? Hear
There
me
you
now.
go.
Mike's
Yeah.
closer. Yeah, so I've seen a lot as a whole fan. Been a whole fan.
Did you go to all the Wembley games?
I've been to Bristol, Sheffield Wednesday. I haven't been to all of them, to be fair. I haven't
You
been
was
to
it
all of them.
FA Cup, Sheffield United and Arsenal?
No, I didn't go to the Arsenal FA Cup game.
That
I
was
wish I did. I wish I did because we were winning that game and then I know we lost in the end, but
that
it would
felt
have
like
been
a win.
it would have been great like feeling and thing. But Santi Cazorla was,
Before the start of that game, they were saying we was going to get battered 5-0, etc.
yeah,
That's not
gone, gone, gone. He has. Oh,
There we go. I'm back.
welcome back. Yeah, no, yeah, they were saying we were going to get battered in that Arsenal game, and we actually gave them a really, really good game. Gave them like a really good game.
Yeah, we did, and we should have beaten them really. But I think it was a mistake putting in McGregor back in goal after he'd been injured for such a
Yeah.
long time.
But also, like Arsene Wenger apparently said to Santi Cazorla that McGregor dives a certain way or something in like a
Yeah,
free kick or whatever it is, and then Santi Cazorla then knew where to aim for his free kick. So it's like
yeah, it was a stunning free kick. I mean, to be
it was
fair,
an
but
unbelievable free kick. Don't get me wrong. Santi Cazorla was different class back then as well because he could do both feet as well. So fair play to
yeah,
him.
yeah, he could.
But you know what I mean. I don't know. I feel like we could have won that game. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The game that I really loved going to at Wembley was the Bristol game. The
Yeah, the
first place
first
game.
time it ever happened. I mean,
That was
yeah, it wasn't
amazing.
the greatest game, but the feeling of it was
It was. I remember. I don't know why, but I remember. I don't know if it's because I was quite young or what, but it was like when I was there, I never had a feeling that we were going to lose. I don't know why. I just never had the
yeah,
feeling because we won. We beat Watford and we beat them so well. I just was
yeah,
like, oh, we've got that feeling. And then it got
yeah,
into the game. It was like
mm,
it's getting later in the game and later in the game. I was like, shit, I don't know if this is actually going to happen. And then bloody Windass out of nowhere just.
yeah. It had to be him, didn't it? I mean, was he
It had
38,
to be at
39 at
their
the
end,
time?
didn't it? Had to be at
38.
their end as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't even at our end, but yeah, I remember it. That was a great goal. Except Wembley was a bit different because you couldn't. They were quite strict with like pitch invasions and stuff like. So it didn't. It
Oh
felt
yeah, they have to
weird
be.
seeing the people on. It felt weird seeing the players on that podium, because they were so far away.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I remember it was the biggest stadium I've ever been to. I think actually
you
sold
had
out.
everyone at the on the pitch, didn't you? After the Watford game in the semi-final, that's when everyone did stream on the pitch
I was on
before
my
the
dad's
final.
shoulders. Dad's shoulders and oh, what's his name? Was it Duffy? Chairman Duffy or whatever his name is. What was the chairman's name? Duffy or whatever his name
Chairman,
is.
oh, Paul Duffield.
Yeah, yeah. He was
Paul,
on
no, Paul Duffin. Paul Duffin.
Duffin. That's it, Duffy. I was saying Duffy. Yeah, Duffin,
Yeah,
right? He got champagne and was spraying it. And I remember
he was
thinking,
loving it, wasn't he?
I was loving. I remember that. Got some champagne and oh yeah, I was absolutely loving that night. I think I've got a picture somewhere of me on that. But that season, like I said, I was mascot at Coventry away, so I met that whole team, and I've got the signed T-shirt on my wall.
Brilliant.
Um, I'll never ever sell that.
Yeah, my daughter was mascot in
Yeah, I remember.
2020 just before lockdown.
Really, mate, mascot
Do
is
you,
amazing.
do you ever remember a little girl going viral for opening the season pass?
Bell rings a bell. Why?
That was my daughter.
Fair play.
And she got invited by Grant McCann to be mascot, got a free kit. She was going to be on
Really?
Billboard. She was going on Odeon Cinema. I'm not kidding you saying all this shit to you,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
COVID kicked in and ruined it all.
COVID was crap anyway. No offense,
Yeah, it knackered it all up. So she even did like she had to send in they was making like a promotion video to get people back in the stadium for League One when they went down, and she did a little bit for that, but then it never got to light.
Oh, that's annoying. That is really annoying.
I was mascot in 1985 as well, and I was 8 against Grimsby Town of all people, believe it or not,
Really?
of all teams. Yeah.
What was that like to be mascot? What was it like? Because I remember I was mascot twice. I was mascot at Coventry, and then a few years later, I was mascot against Everton in the FA Cup.
Oh, nice
And
one.
and I remember them being a lot more stricter for the Everton game than they were at Coventry for when I was mascot a few years before. I didn't know how strict they would be for you as a mascot.
No, that was all right. To be fair, I don't remember. You were just mascot for you didn't like now. You go on the whole stadium and everything, don't you? You get like a proper
Yeah.
tour of it all. But now
Yeah.
they all
Like it's
do.
funny. Yeah, it's funny because at Coventry I got a full stadium tour, and I wasn't even the home bloody mascot. I was the away mascot, and I got a full tour of the stadium. I met the Coventry players, which was really random, and then I went into the Hull City changing room and met them all. But then when I was mascot at Hull, I didn't get a stadium tour of Hull, which I thought was really weird. I didn't get a stadium tour, and then
That's good, isn't it?
I was like 12, and so I didn't get a stadium tour, and then you met the players, but you didn't go in the changing room and met them. They came out in this like hallway thing, and
Ah,
they met
right.
you like there, and you took pictures with them, and you you saw them for like, I don't know, like 5 seconds a piece. Like I saw Tom Kearney and all that kind of stuff. But then
Yeah.
I didn't. It was a bit weird. Like I remember Coventry. I went in the stadium. I talked to Phil Brown at Coventry, and it was like it just felt so like cool, like relaxed. You know what I mean? But then
Yeah.
at Hull, it was much more like players are coming. Giovanni's here. This is guys here, and that's there. And then
Yeah. So, but that was some experience speaking to Brownie and the
yeah,
players.
but I spoke to Giovanni when I was mascot Evan, and he couldn't speak English. Not speak like he couldn't speak a word of English at all.
Really?
No, like he went. I remember him just saying like hello, good kid or something. Like he just couldn't speak English. Like, and he was with us. I think that was like he was with us like second season with us or whatever. So no, wait, no, he was only with us for one season, wasn't
He was with us. I think it was a couple of seasons, wasn't it,
he?
Giovanni?
Yeah, yeah.
It stayed
I
for
think
when we stayed up, and then I think he departed after that, didn't he?
yeah, I think it was. I think it was. It must have been the second season we played Everton, and I just remember, yeah, because the way it worked was is like you had to get your name on the list like way in advance. So my dad put me down for Coventry.
Yeah.
And then my dad then put me down again for the FA Cup, like just like another game because he wanted me to, because he didn't think we were going to get up into the Premier League when we did. So he was like, I want you to meet or see Premier League teams. So if I can get you in like the FA Cup, like third round or whatever, I don't know how it worked back then. I don't really know how he did it. But you know, he was like, if I can try and get you as a mascot for a Premier League team, hopefully you can see some Premier, like you can actually see a Premier League team.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't think we would. You know, he didn't realize that we were then going to go to Man United Arsenal away and all this stuff as well. Because you didn't think it. Like I remember when I first started supporting Hull in like 2003. You know, I wouldn't have thought watching Stuart Elliott and stuff that we were going to get promoted and like, you know, even though Stuart Elliott was a great player, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't think we were going to, you know, especially when we had the Phil Parkinson season. I don't even remember that season where we
it was terrible. The amount was one of the managers shouted out. Yeah.
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was so bad.
Paid a lot of money for him as well, compensation wise, and he was crap.
Parkinson was terrible. So bad. I don't understand how he has a reputation.
He's grown as a manager, hasn't he? I mean, look at he's doing a job at Wrexham now. He's got the financial.
Wrexham, sorry. Yeah, I know, but come on, he has got the biggest spending the most amount of money. Yeah, he was terrible at us. I remember him shouting out a ball boy or something in one. I just remember he was just a terrible manager. And that's when Phil Brown came in. And Phil Brown then rescued us and got us promoted to the next season.
No one expected a promotion, did they, after just surviving?
Yeah, we literally just survived, and then we got the promotion that season. But then, and I don't even think we recruited like insanely well. Like we didn't have players that were like insane. You know, that lineup was like Michael Turner, Sam Ricketts, Andy Dawson, like Myhill, and we got Windass. We got Windass from like Bradford or something. Like.
Yeah, I think he came on a free, didn't he?
Yeah, it was so random. Like we got a striker that was ending the near of his career, and he had a really good season. Like it was just if you had that kind of team now, I feel like the fan base on Twitter would have an absolute meltdown with a team like that now.
They had a good team ethic, didn't they? They didn't have superstars, but they just had a very good team ethic, and they all worked well together.
Yeah, 100%.
And that can get you promotion, as proven last year with Ipswich. They didn't have superstars, but look what they did.
No, but the only thing with Ipswich, I think that Ipswich team was a lot better than what I think. Them players are actually very, very good players. I just think they were mismanaged for a while. Like a lot of their, like if you look at a lot of the players that they had in League One that they have now, and they're still doing well. They were always that good. If you know what I mean. I just think that.
Yeah, I think their recruitment's been fantastic this season. The way they've bought nearly all the best Championship players. What a way to do it!
They've done it really, really well. They've got like, especially Greaves, but then. What annoys me is I see on Twitter that everyone's like, "Oh my god, Jacob Greaves! Like, who knew he was so good?" It's like we've literally watched him for years play unbelievable at Hull. We know that he's been amazing. It's the reason why we wanted so much, and we only sold him for what, like 15 million or something. Like that? We only sold him
a lot of people said we could have got a lot more. They probably.
I think we could have, but
25 maybe, but you never know. In the market.
I think Jaden Philogene was madly undervalued. I think that deal should have been a lot more personally, but I think because of the buyback,
we only made about 8 million, didn't we? Because we bought him for 5 and we sold him for 13 in the end, didn't we?
Yeah, we sold him for 13. But then the only thing with people were saying, that it was a glorified loan, which it was, and the buyback was in Aston Villa's. But the only thing is that we shouldn't have accepted the low bid from. We accepted a low bid from Ipswich for him or whatever it was. I think it was Ipswich.
Yeah, it was Ipswich. Yeah.
Huh?
Once they'd done that, once they accepted the
Yeah.
bid, then that allowed Villa to use the clause.
Yeah, yeah, and that meant Villa, and then it meant Villa could knock off like 20% or something.
30% they put on it.
Yeah. But why was the I can't remember what it was. Like they knocked off the 30%
because basically, when we look, they sold him to us last season. They said, right, if you sell him on, we're taking 30% of it. And of course, because they bought him back, it went the same way.
Yeah. Great business for Villa though, but he's not like I'm looking. He's coming on as a sub. Like he's not starting any game.
Not even in the team yesterday.
Yeah, he I just don't.
He's good.
He should have gone. He should have gone to the Premier League, right? He should have, right? And I think we definitely banked. We told a lot of these good players like Jada and stuff like, oh, we will get promoted last season. I can guarantee the fact that we would, because I know that's why Jacob Greaves left this season, because a lot of the players had in their head that they were going to play Premier League next season.
Of course they did.
We didn't get it. We didn't get it. We should have, but mate, that team was. If you look at how much these players are selling for now, our team from like 5 or 6 players have been 80 million.
Yeah.
You look at Fabio Carvalho, you look at Philogene, you look at Greaves, you look at that team was unbelievable.
3 players alone now. Yeah.
Mate, look at Delap's goal. Like, you know, like he just scored. Like,
yeah, I mean, he always had it in him when you saw him play for City. If he don't get injured, we go up, don't we?
Yeah, we missed him a lot. I'm not gonna lie, we did miss him a lot. I think bringing in Billy Sharp to replace him was a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, that was stupid.
I thought, I don't know. I think Rossinia's lack of. It was weird. I don't really understand the way we recruited last season, because like we recruited players, but then Rossinia didn't use them. Like,
why did he not? Why would he not attack teams and go full throttle with that team? And he didn't. He just defended the same way.
Yeah, but what I also don't understand is the last game against Plymouth, right? Where we don't know the result. Obviously, if you looked at the result online, you would know that we're not going to go up even with a win. But he didn't know that, and we were 1-0 down. Why the hell are you not going all out? Like,
you know what I
mean? You know what I mean? What's the loss going to do now? What's it going to do? And it's like he doesn't know the result. So if he doesn't know the result, why the hell are you not going for it? It just I don't know. But then what's really annoying me is he's winning. He won like with Strasbourg or whatever it was, like 4-1 or whatever the other week, and everyone's like, "Oh, we really need him back." And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think he's.
What's your opinion on Walter so far? What do you think?
Well, I think he's. I think my opinion is different to other people's opinion. I think my opinion is he's good. I like him. I really like him.
I like him.
I think we're actually playing okay football. Like, people are saying we're not playing like attacking. I think we are. I think it's a lot more attacking. Like,
do you?
To give an instance, right? If you look at, I don't know if you remember. I'm going to take a game that I remember like very, very vividly. Coventry at home last season, we drew 1-1, right? And we had Matt Ingram in goal, and we had Philogene. We had a lot of the good attacking players that we had. That we had for most of the season, right? We had Delap that game, and I remember Delap playing really well. But I remember instances where we would have the ball with Jones, Greaves, whoever, trying to break down the low block or whatever it was by Coventry. And I literally remember, if we couldn't pass through the middle or pass down the wide, we'd turn around and pass it back to Ingram, and Ingram would literally stand with the ball, moving his hands and not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
I think that's so different to now. Panda does not see anywhere near as much of the ball as Ingram did last season. Nowhere near.
The ball, didn't he, at his feet all the time, Ingram?
Yeah. And people used to boo. Home fans used to boo, and you just go, get the ball out. You know what I mean? They used to cry for him to pass the ball out. And then when we got Alsop was decent at distributing. I'll give him that. But he couldn't save, he couldn't save anything, right? He was just terrible at saving. But I do think Volta is. I could just tell, like, when we get the ball, especially our centre-backs, we're driving forward a lot more. We are trying to drive the ball forward. If we don't always attack, we are trying to drive it forward. Like, look at Louis Coyle. Louis Coyle is actively, like, I saw yesterday's game. Louis Coyle drove the ball from right back all the way to left back, and then drove it through the middle to try and get the ball forward, rather than passing it back to the keeper and just doing nothing.
Which we used to do a lot of, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just pass it around
Yeah.
15 minutes at the back. Sometimes
Yeah.
it was depressing.
Well, the games used to be a lot slower. I think we played quite well against Leeds. I think once we made some changes, and I feel like I thought Will Jarvis was very good, but I also
Made one
think that
mistake that killed it, didn't he?
yeah, and I also think Jarvis, I don't know, he just doesn't track. He doesn't track it like anywhere near as much as what he should do, and
Yeah.
and like other players, like Regan Slater will run his socks off. I don't necessarily think he's insane for the system we have, but he will work for the team.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you want? Do you want a player that'll? I don't know. You definitely missed the tracking of Regan Slater when he came off. I think anyway. I think that once he came off, there was a big pocket where Jarvis wasn't tracking, and then it kind of just opened up a gap, because then Louis Coyle had to come up the pitch to track, which then left his position open. And then Jones and McLaughlin, I necessarily, they haven't done anything wrong, but I necessarily don't like that partnership ever. I just don't know if Jones is
in there. He needs to be in there.
I just don't think Jones is comfortable with McLaughlin. I just don't think he's like McLaughlin. In essence, I see him and go, "Oh, that's pretty good from McLaughlin. Oh, that's pretty good." But then he does stuff.
He's not a championship player, is he? Not level.
Yeah, he does stuff that's like very irrational. Like he tries to like sometimes clobber a player and completely miss it, and then like they're 3-on-2 or something, and I'm like, he's completely out of position. And a lot of the time, a lot of the goals we have conceded this season, McLaughlin has been very high up the pitch, like really high up the pitch. And I don't know if that's, obviously I know Volta ball is like very much like you move the players around and you sometimes play it 3 at the back and you try and bring out the wingers a bit more, stuff like that. But I don't know. I just feel like sometimes McLaughlin gets carried away or something. I don't know. There's always seems to be a pocket there that like we always seem to concede on that side, like a lot of the time. Like I know that like what's his name, Perot or whatever his name is, like scored the second goal for Leeds. I understand that when we knocked it into the box, that was still on that side. He was unmarked on that side. You know what I mean? Like
could have gone for a cup of tea and come back here. That much space.
But you know what I mean? Like, no one was on that side, like picking up anyone, and we've got caught in transition. I know we got caught in transition from the Will Jarvis not tracking and stuff, but I don't know, man. I don't know why he's not playing Hughes. I understand Hughes is really young. And maybe
Wigan, he's captain Wigan. Why the hell? I get the first couple of games, but surely he's got to come in against Sheffield United at home, hasn't he? Surely.
I think he has to, doesn't he? Really? Like, I don't understand why. They know he's young and he shouldn't.
He will captain a defence on his own.
He's been captain at Wigan, like you said. At such a young age as well. At such a young age, like he knows clearly how to captain a defence. And if you look at our defence, right, I know Alfie Jones has been with us for a long time and stuff like that, but Jones necessarily doesn't strike me as like a leadership. Like he doesn't control the defence. Like Greaves controlled the defence. You know, he was very. When you looked at him, like any home game you went to, he was very like. He was making sure people were in the right positions. He was making sure people were coming back. If he was on the ball looking for a pass, he'd be demanding everyone. And we don't have that now. And I feel like you can tell because McLaughlin, I've got nothing against McLaughlin at all. Like he's a good second. I think he's a good backup. He's a good player you bring on as a sub, I think. Yeah. I still think he's a championship starter.
No, yeah.
And he's a strong defender. He's really good at defending, I think. But he's very bad at tracking a man. Like when every time he's not very good at defending crosses. His decision making's lacking. Like when he's on the ball, he can do a decent pass, but then if he's got any amount of pressure on him, he does sometimes fumble a little bit. Like he'll do the wrong pass to the keeper, which then unfolds to be a bad pass to someone else, and then they concede or something like that. And it does happen like that. I think where I think McLaughlin's decision making isn't the best, but I also don't think. I think Jones is growing into it now. I thought when I saw Jones against Bristol at the start of the season, I thought he wasn't amazing either. Personally, I didn't think he played well, but I think he's growing into it more. I think he's definitely driving up. Like I saw him like nearly get assist against Leeds. He was in their bloody own box. So
he's a good player. He's a good
He is
player.
a good player.
I think the partnership will be Hughes and obviously
Yeah.
Jones. Definitely.
I think once you have Hughes, I even thought Finley Burns played quite well in the FA Cup. I thought he played quite well in the centre back role.
Why has he had no minutes, Hughes, do you think? I mean, not giving him 5-10 minutes at the end. That's what I don't understand. He's not been on the pitch at all.
I don't know. Like, I thought, when we went 2-0 down against Leeds
That's your
yesterday.
chance, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I thought we're not going to come back in, because it was like 9th minute. We're not going to come back now. Get Hughes on the pitch and just see what
He's
he
about.
can do. Yeah, just see if he can like command us. Just see what he can do. You know, especially against a team like Leeds. Just see what he can do. And he hasn't. And I don't know if he wants to. It is quite a bit of a deep end against Leeds. I understand that, but he's got nothing to lose for 6 minutes, and he's young, so he's going to want to prove himself, surely. So and he's going to be a big player. So sometimes you've got to throw a big player in the deep end, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Do you think not getting a strike in the transfer window is going to be?
No, I don't think it's actually. I don't think it's as much of a meltdown as what people's. I think that's not as big. I think people are having a bit of a meltdown, and I don't think it was needed. Like, I think Chris Beddier was quite good against Leeds. I think it was pretty decent. He could have scored one or two. If Regan Slater squared it rather than thumping it across the fucking 6-yard
Yeah,
box,
he messed that up, didn't he? Big time.
Yeah, if he just rolled it, Chris Beddier would have got a goal. So I think he's pretty good. He's strong, holds the ball up well. He's got a good first touch, got good dribbling. I don't think we need another striker. If he gets injured, we're going to be quite knackered. Yeah, I think we're going to be knackered. And I think that's where maybe the next striker does come into play, where people went, we need that extra striker. But then if we brought in like a really good striker.
The attacking wingers, you've got Kamara, you've got Bloomy, so you can always shift one of them up.
Yeah, well, I saw someone say Kamara could play up front. So, but then the only thing is, I understand we need depth, right? I understand we need depth. But why have we brought in Liam Miller when we've just brought in 2 more wingers as well? Because then we can't play 3 wingers.
Yeah, so he's obviously have to put in one of them up front, isn't he? Surely.
Yeah, because I don't know why. I understand why we brought in the 2 wingers we have, because they're very good wingers, right? I understand that. But why bring in Liam Miller as well? Because we've paid decent fees for all 3 wingers as well.
I do like Miller.
I love Miller. I think he's really good.
Yeah.
I think for against Leeds he played really well. I think him and Giles, something weird on that left hand side. I don't know if you saw it in the Leeds game, but Giles kept trying to make an overlap run, and Miller was not having it. Miller just was not having it. Miller was either going for goal or just
but then Beddier did that to Miller, didn't he, when he did the shot? If you remember, Miller overlapped him.
Yeah. So I don't. Our players are going for overlaps and underlaps, and we're not. The players just want to go for goal. But I don't know if that's because we're not scoring any goals. So the players want to be like, I want to score the goal for the club. I want to be the big man. Which
Yeah. I mean, surely the goalkeeper they brought in is it Rushworth? Is it
Rushworth? Yeah.
Rushworth, yeah, he's got to be number 1 in the surely. He's too good not to be in the goal, isn't
he? Rushworth is really good, right? But I don't know why we've brought him in. Like I can't understand why we've brought him in. Like, he's a really good goalkeeper, but we've got Rakiopi. Is that you say it, Rakiopi?
Yeah.
We've got Rakiopi, right? And I think he was solid. I think he's actually a really good goalkeeper. And we've got Panda. I don't know why we've brought in another number 1 goalkeeper, because now we've got 3 goalkeepers that want to be number 1. And
have we still got Talala as well? Have we still got Timothy Talala? Is he still here as well?
Yeah, he's injured though at the minute.
Right. So we've got 4 decent keepers, really, haven't we?
Yeah, but Talala, I don't think he's a much younger goalkeeper, and I think he'll probably go out on loan. But even then, we've got 3 keepers that want to all be number 1. Like, we brought in a Champions League goalkeeper, right, who's played in the Champions League. We've got Panda, who we signed from last season, who was meant to be like a really good goalkeeper that Adjan really likes. And then we've also got Rushworth, who is on loan for 1 season that we don't have a buy clause on, and we just brought him in as he's just a loan. Like, he's an experienced goalkeeper.
He never missed a game at Swansea last season, did he? He never missed a game.
No, but he's played really well. He played really, really well at Swansea last season. Yeah. I remember him playing really well.
11 clean sheets. So
yeah. But he has to be. But I don't understand why we've done it. I can't, for the life of me, understand why I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but I don't know why we've.
It is a
Especially,
strange one, but I mean, you'd have for me, he would be in my number one, and then obviously Pando as a backup. But then, as you said, you've still got Rakiopi, a Champions League goalkeeper.
I thought
So,
Rakiopi would come in above Panda personally. Like
we expected that, but then he made that mistake, didn't he, against
he made the
Wednesday?
he made that one mistake, but then after the mistake, I thought he should have got character by doing really like he played really solid. Like he had them first like 25 minutes where he was really shaky against Wednesday.
Mm.
First game, fair play, right? Against especially against a team that like Wednesday. I know it wasn't the best team, but Wednesday pressed like hell. So when
Yeah,
obviously when we're trying to play out from the back, he maybe wasn't. He was probably like shit. Like this is a lot to deal with. But then he grew into the game, and I thought he made a really good save, like a really powerful, strong save. And I don't know. I'm not convinced on Panda personally, and I don't know if Volta is. I don't really know.
he's
I
getting
don't
better.
know.
Do you think he's getting better each game?
Getting
Panda?
better each game, but he made everyone. I say this point right on Twitter as well. Is he does really well. He makes some good saves, right? But the saves he needs to make, or the easier saves he makes, he doesn't make, and they score. Like a lot of the time that he's conceding on his near post, which for a
Yeah,
goalkeeper you shouldn't really concede on your near post. Like you should cover, and you can tell for the what was it the first Leeds goal, he finally covered his inner post, like his inside post, and he scored on the fucking. They scored on the other one. So,
yeah,
um, but he has made the mistake. Like if you look at a lot of Hull City's goals conceded this season, that you'll notice a lot of them are near post goals. A lot of
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Not
definitely.
all of them, but a lot of them. I know we've only played so many games, but the goals that we have conceded, I would say like 90% of them, apart from like one or two, have been near post. Um, this game is a bit of a that's just things. I think he played quite well against Leeds.
Yeah,
I think the Bristol game, he was okay. It's a bit dodgy. I don't know. I just don't know. Like he gives away
that
the
was
ball
what that he
sometimes.
wasn't great in that for me. He was sloppy for
Yeah.
the first half,
It, it,
definitely.
it gives away a ball. I don't know. I'm not confident. I don't know. It's just hard. It's hard to see what another keeper can do because we haven't seen Rakiopi play apart from that Sheffield Wednesday game. When he needs to
Yeah.
play a game, so we can go, oh yeah, maybe Panda actually isn't that good because
So you
he looks
see
so much
Pando
better.
dropping from number one to number three potentially.
I would say, for me, I think he would, but I don't know if. So obviously, a manager like Volta, he's trained young. He's been in academies, Bayern Munich academy and stuff like that. He clearly knows how to deal with young lads and
Yeah,
how to. And I'm guessing he doesn't want to, especially because we're not winning games. I can 100% see him not wanting to stir the pot too much
yeah,
and to make too many changes to upset too many people.
yeah.
Because if
Really
so,
frustrating.
yeah. So 100% after this international break, I think we're gonna see a completely different squad. I think we're gonna see
Yeah,
Hughes
the
play.
team he wants to
Yeah,
play.
he'll play the team he wants to play exactly. He's played, and I wouldn't even put it past him that we're playing Panda. Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
We're back.
There we go. You all right?
Yeah,
I was gonna say I wouldn't even put it past him that this is just a bit balling here, but I won't put it past Ajan to be like, give Panda the first 5 games of the season, just see how he does, and
well, he
then
wanted to win,
play,
didn't he? He
and then
wanted to win.
play, yeah, and then play Rakiopi and see how he does. Because I can guarantee the fact that we've signed Rushworth shows you that Volta is saying in the background, he doesn't trust one of the goalkeepers.
He's not comfortable with one of them, is he?
No,
Yeah,
he's not, and I can highly doubt it's not the player we've bought for 4 million or 3 million or how much we bought Rakiopi for. I can't remember if it was like 1.5 or what the hell it was, but we spent over a
1.5
million.
Pando last season, wasn't it?
Spent,
Yeah,
yeah, we spent over a million on Rakiopi. Like I can't remember how much we spent on Rakiopi, but we spent a lot on Rakiopi, and a lot for someone that's not even playing. You know what I mean? So the fact that we signed him shows me that maybe it has to be the guy that he keeps playing, and the guy that he hasn't signed in. He has to have given Panda benefit of the doubt, and then he's going to go Ajan, right? I don't like him. I just don't think he's like He's not the level I want. I think personally. I don't think we see Panda play after international break. I don't think we see Panda play for
Do
the
you think
rest of the season.
Rushworth will go straight in, don't you?
I think Rushworth will go in. He might play Rakiopi for a game, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. It has to be Rushworth because you wouldn't bring in a lone player from Brighton and just for one season to then not play him. So it doesn't make sense. You don't have a buy on him. So like it's not like you're gonna like keep him and stuff like that. So you have to use him for the year you have him. So
What
I think
are you doing if it's you in charge against Sheffield United? Are you changing a lot, or are you just changing it gradually, as you just said?
I would change a lot, but that's because I play Football Manager, mate, and I bloody I'll switch anyone out if I fall out with them. But I think
Slater's going to be on the bench, isn't he, with the quality we've got now in midfield, surely.
I thought it was really weird how he didn't bring on Poeta either.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. I know he's a defensive midfielder, but I would have brought on the players I've signed. I would have brought them on to see how well they do. I know they haven't done a lot.
Yeah.
Just to give them a couple of minutes, I think Volta definitely, because I know Volta works them hard, right, in training. I know that. So maybe he thinks that if they're not up to the fitness level I want them to be, and they don't have an insane game and they leak thingies, people might, start be going, why have we spent this on them? Why have we spent that on them? So I think I can understand the reasoning behind it. The Hughes one, I don't understand, personally. I think he needs to start or even come on as a sub. I just want to see him play.
Yeah, I just want too much of a game away to bring him in, which is probably fair enough. But
I understand that, but I just want to see him play. I just want to see what he's about because he seems like a centre back that really fits Bolton's system. So surely, I don't know, but he's not left-footed, and I don't know if that's a big issue for Bolton. I thought it wouldn't be when he signed. Like people were like, "Oh, he's not left-footed. We need a natural left-footer." And I was like, I don't think it's a big deal because the way the players pass the ball isn't necessarily like one-touch passing. It's like a couple of touches, drive the ball forward, then give it off. It's not really like bang, bang, bang like that.
I mean, he can win the ball, can't he? I've seen his highlights. He's good at winning the ball back.
Yeah, and he's actually not bad with his left foot either. He's not completely one-footed. So I thought it technically wouldn't be a massive disadvantage that we don't have a left-footed left centre back. I don't really know what Bolton's doing. I don't know. I don't know. But I think against Sheffield, to answer your question before, I think Sheffield United, I think he'll make one change because he brought in for good right. He brought in Zambrano really quickly. Like he started him from the get-go. Like he didn't have any sub. He debuted him.
He went straight in.
He went straight in. So I wonder if we're going to see Poeta. I think we're going to see Poeta in, and I think we're going to see maybe Kamara definitely coming. I think he's going to start making some. I think with that loss now, I think he's going to start ramping up a bit now because he's German as well. You got to remember, so he doesn't have.
I don't like to lose.
They don't like to lose. They don't have a lot of patience, which is a good thing sometimes. And I think he's quite ruthless as well. He wants to be ruthless sometimes, and I think he can be. And now that he's he's gone draw. He's drawn his first few games. Now he's lost. He's lost in the FA Cup. Now he's lost against Leeds, especially a 2-0 loss against Leeds. He's definitely not going to want to do that again. No. And he knows as well, even though people are going, "Oh, let's get let's get mid-table. Let's try and just not get relegated." Blah blah. We're obviously not going to get relegated, but I think now that he definitely wants to try and get playoffs this season. Just because he would want to, you know what I mean? Like he's just one of the managers that
he's ambitious, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll he'll want to win the league. You know what I mean? With the team he's got, even though he can, he'll want to. So the fact that he's losing, he's starting to lose games, and he can probably get quite frustrated. Like I don't know if you saw his post-match interview, but he definitely didn't look happy in it. I was watching the post-match interview because I didn't go to Leeds game, so I was watching it on TV. But post-match interview wasn't necessarily like happy. He seemed quite pissed off. So I remember I saw him on the touchline. He didn't seem very happy either. So I think he's definitely gonna start ramp it up. I just don't think he's going to get. I think he's going to go. We've lost now. He's going to say to me, prove to me that you want to win, because we're losing and we're not winning games, we're not scoring any goals. Prove to me, and he's just going to drop people.
Do you think the recruitment was too late? Do you think it should have been quicker?
I think the mistake we made. It's hard, man. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because if you don't sell your players early, you don't have the money to know who you can buy. Especially because we're a club which doesn't have parachute payments and stuff, so you rely a lot on the player sales to then buy players. So you don't know really your budget till you sell a player for the amount, and then you can go out and buy them. So I understand that, but then I think once you've agreed a deal on a team, I think that Jacob Greaves deal, you agree to it, but then you go out and find the player, and then you buy the player, or you agree that deal, and then finalize the Jacob Greaves deal. I don't think you send Jacob Greaves on his way and then 3 weeks later bring in Hughes or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
That's what he did with Oscar, isn't it? That's what he did with Oscar, because he sold Oscar and then replaced him, which was stupid.
Yeah. The only thing he let Oscar go, he let Espetunian go, right? Thingy, and I think I'm pretty sure they were guaranteed. They thought they were going to get either Ben Doak, Tom Cannon, or someone else, and I think they were confident on that. And then when Tom Cannon went, I don't want to leave Leicester, I just want to be loaned out, he joined Stoke, which is a bit of a weird signing. Personally, I thought it's really weird. They've finished 16th in nearly every season for the last 5 years, or whatever it was. Really weird. It's really, really weird.
It's not far from Leicester, is it? Leicester Stoke, probably.
Yeah, maybe. But and then you've got Ben Doak who's going to Middlesbrough, or I read some of that he was off to Middlesbrough instead of Hull. So we clearly thought we were going to get one of them strikers to come in, and when we didn't, it kind of was a maybe.
Panic. They tried to get Fofana from Chelsea, didn't they?
Tried to get Fofana, then they tried to get that what's his name, that Washington guy from Chelsea, because the Strasbourg deal went out. He was going to sign for Strasbourg for 21 million, and then that fell through. Yeah, 21 million or something like that. So it shows you the kind of budget Strasbourg have for what, with Liam Rosenior, that they're able to sign a player for 20 million. So yeah, but that Washington deal fell through apparently. I don't even know. Those reports coming out that it was nearly done. Then Baz said that it was way off the mark and that actually we didn't put a deal in. But then I think it came out that we actually did put an offer in, but we couldn't get it over the line and stuff. And I don't know. Everywhere.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I mean,
it's a bit everywhere.
It was a good window. If you'd finished it off with a decent strike, it would have been a good window. But sadly, they couldn't.
I think it was I still think it's a pretty good way. It was a terrible window when we got rid of Jacob Greaves and Philogene, and we didn't it just nothing was happening. I think then it was terrible. I remember I was sat when I was sat in my house and I was just reading Twitter. I remember getting links and stuff, but we were never actually getting anywhere in signings, and I was just like this is really bad. And I remember people going, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad." Look at the start of the season last year to this season, and I was like, I don't understand where they got that from, because last season we had actually a much better team at the start of the season than we did this season. The Bristol game, that team in that Bristol game was pretty shocking, if you know what I mean. We had Giles. If you look at, we had Giles in left wing, we had Matty Jacobs in left back, Cody Drama was injured. We were playing whoever it was, I can't remember. We had Regan Slater in right wing or whatever it was. I don't know. It was not an amazing.
No,
game.
it was poor.
And we drew. And we got a late goal with Espetunian, a penalty, but we drew, and we should have actually won. I think we should have won. We had chances.
Really, considering
we had chances to win, and we just didn't take them because we just didn't have a good striker. And then the Millwall game as well, I thought we should have won personally.
Yeah.
I thought Millwall we should have won. We had most of the ball. We had 2 good chances with Bedia with the overhead kick. That was a good save from the keeper.
Yeah, it was a good save. Yeah,
and then Bairstow as well was in on goal, and he, it was very unlucky. Their keeper made some good saves. You know what I mean? So we should have really have won that game, and so I think we've been promising. I think we've been really promising.
So realistically, where do you think we're going to finish this season? If you're really truthfully honest, right now as it stands.
Based on the Leeds, based on Leeds last season, yesterday, based on what I saw from yesterday's game.
Yeah. Or the last, the league forms that two started.
If I don't look at the signings we've made, because obviously I think we're going to play way different when we bring in the signings after the
Oh, I
international
agree,
break.
100%. They're more
If I look,
technical.
yeah, so if I don't base it on the signings and I base it on the current team, I think we're like mid-table, personally.
Right. Based on
Mid-table.
the signings, though, what do you think after
Yeah,
that then?
I think after the signings, I think we can. I'd love to say we can get like top half.
Yeah, I
I'd
don't
love
think
to
they're
say we can
playoff material yet. They're not.
I wanna say we can get playoffs, but it's very hard because if the team clicks very well and these new signings come in and they it's electric, right?
Yeah,
Kamara's, showing
on
us off
fire.
and
Yeah,
on fire and we're scoring goals. Like you never know, like it could just be one of them turnarounds where
we've
the
got
wingers
Palmer
and the
still
strike.
to find his form
Yeah,
as well. Yeah,
I thought Casey Palmer. I thought when he came on, I thought he was quite good. I didn't think he
yeah, he
was bad
was.
at all.
He was.
I think he'll look good. I think he fits Volter's. Um,
System.
I think that's the kind of player he likes. Volter is like he's very much like he likes strong, powerful players. You look at Chris Bedia, right? He's got Chris Bedia, massive, strong striker. He's brought in Casey Palmer, who's a massive, strong midfielder. He's got, he likes big, strong players in his team.
Yeah, they can
It's a
knock
very
people off the ball.
yeah, it's a very physical type of thing. You know what I mean? So, and
Yeah,
he likes his small, tricky wingers as well. Don't get me wrong, but I think he thinks we have too many small players.
yeah. Trying
Which
to
we
beef
kind of
it up a
do.
bit.
We kind of do. Like we have Regan Slater, who isn't massive. We've got Omar, who's amazing but isn't
Take it
massive.
messy. Yeah,
Yeah, and we've got we do, and our midfield is pretty like Zambrano's not the biggest lad as well. So I do think with Casey Palmer coming in, I don't really know how big like Poeta is, but I think he's going to get absolutely stuck in when he gets to it. I think it could link up. I think it really could. I don't know loads about Kamara. I know he did a really good season at Portsmouth, but I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know loads about him personally. I'm not going to lie. I don't know loads about him. So I don't really know how good
Norwich
he's going to
fans have
be.
said if you don't give him first team football,
Yeah.
he misses his way out. That's what they've said.
I saw that, but I think he will get first. Like
That could be
I can't see many people playing over him. Like I don't know about you, but I can't see like except Liam Miller. Like that's the only player on that wing that I can go, yeah, like I'm not gonna start Will Jarvis over Kamara personally, am I? Like
No,
I don't know.
definitely not.
But it depends again with it depends how we track. It depends all how they track because volleyball is very dependent on how the players track the other team's players. Do you know what I mean? It's how they put the pressure on. It's how they press. If
Well,
they
he can
don't all
attack, but
press
the
together,
defense isn't great, is
yeah,
it? The defense isn't
it's
great.
it's the way we transition from attack to defense. It's the way we press. We
It's
don't
how we
really,
cope with the counter attack, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. We
And we're
don't
not very
press.
good at the minute.
No, no, we're not. We're not. But I don't know. I think it's 50-50. I think a lot of it's how Volt obviously likes us being very high up the pitch, right? Which is very, very you can counter attack very easily when a team's playing such high up the pitch. Like people say like the goalkeeper can play as a centre back half the time because we're so high up the pitch. And I understand that, but it's very deceptive to a counter attack. And championship football, a lot of it is counter attacking football. Like, when one team's dominating the ball,
Yeah,
championship's so good because a championship team that's fighting for relegation can just lob one over the top and they're in
yeah,
on goal and they score. There's so many instances from last season where like the better team is like dominating and they still don't win the game because they've been hit on like one counter attack and they've lost the game. So
yeah.
um,
Which
I
happened
don't
a lot
know.
to City last season, didn't it? If you
It
think
did.
about it,
It
especially at
did.
home.
It did. It did. Yeah, it did.
Watford was one that springs to mind. Dominated Watford, dominated Southampton, and lost them both.
We dominated a lot of games last season. But the only thing that I have with last season is we dominated a lot of games, but we still didn't attack. Like I don't understand how we had so much of the ball, and I'll bring it back to it. But we gave it back to the keeper a lot. The keeper then stood with it a lot, and then we were so slow at moving the ball. Like we're
Didn't
so
you find that
slow.
different then when we went away compared to home? When we was away, it was like we was at home. The football he played away.
I think sometimes. I think maybe like Leicester game we played well away, but then
Southampton came to mind.
yeah, when we beat them. But like I think when we then played Plymouth away in the last season of the game,
That was shocking.
last game, we didn't do that at all. So
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's based on home or away. I think it's based on the fact of just how Rosenior set up for that game and how I don't know. I don't really know. I think it's more of Rosenior how he set up for that game. But
Did you blame the senior for that scene? Do you think he should have got us promoted with that team? He should have done, really, shouldn't he?
yeah, I think he should have.
Playoffs at least.
I think he should have got us. Like, I don't know what
A
you
lot
think.
of teams and fans were envious of us in January signing Cavallio and Ryan Giles, two top players at the time, weren't they? To be fair,
Yeah, he didn't even really like playing Giles either, really, did he?
no, he didn't. No,
No,
he didn't. He kept him backwards, didn't he? He
kept him
never pushed
backwards,
him.
and he didn't. I don't know. It's very weird. It was. I again, I'll bring it back to it. I don't really understand how our recruitment team was working with Rosenior because Rosenior was very much. It didn't really make much sense. Like Rosenior would break. We would sign players, and Rosenior wouldn't play them. Like
Yeah,
we Panda was one, Giles was another. Where it was like he saw them in training and went, "Oh, I don't like these guys. We've made a mistake buying them." It's like, well, we bought them in for you. Like, why
yeah.
are you play it? Like, it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, definitely not.
But I do think Rossini was very pally, I think, with the team, which was good environment for the boys. But I think Rossini had his favourites, 100%. Like Rossini definitely, he played the same team most of the day, most games, and the substitutes were the same. I know Cynic is made of glass, but when he was available, he never played. So, he just had his favourites.
Total waste of money.
Cynic's ridiculous. Cynic is, even though I know Adrian is like adamant that he's going to become a good player and he's going to play for us and all this, he's made of like ice. He can't play. Like he touches the ball, his ankle's broken. Like it's actually mental how he gets injured so easily. But yeah. So yeah. But going back to how we play with like Volta, I do think we are playing better with Volta. Personally, I think Leeds get every game we seem to be playing better, and it's not the fact that we're playing worse, but you've got to remember, and Hull fans have to remember this because a lot of fans aren't thinking this. His team is a lot worse than what Rossini had last season as well.
Oh, a hell of a lot worse.
But you look at what he's getting out of the players. His system seems to be able to make mediocre players play better, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is he's able to take someone like McLaughlin, guy that didn't play any game last season, and he's playing McLaughlin, he's playing Simons, who I know is pretty decent in last season, but Rossini never liked him, right? And he shipped him off on loan, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and yet Simons was playing in our last few games, and he was playing okay. So the system's able to make the players that maybe weren't suitable for us last season, or maybe weren't even at the standard that we want them to be, play better, and we're able to get through games. I'm not saying we're able to win games, but it's just the system seems to play better to players to make them a little bit better, if you know what I mean. And I don't know if that's because we're playing the ball so quickly up the pitch. There's not really teams can't really handle it. Like I definitely do think a lot of teams can't handle the way like our fast attacking football. I know it sounds ridiculous because people go, I can't tell the difference, but like I think we've had chances to win games, we just haven't taken them. Like a lot of the time, we just haven't taken them. Like you look at the stats of a game, like that Millwall game, for example, we had like 70% possession or something ridiculous like that. We had really high possession.
Yeah,
and I do think the tactics of Volta are good. I really do. I really think they're going to come good. He just needs better players.
People need to be patient, don't they? Fans need to be patient.
I think so.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I think they need to be patient as well. But if we were, it's hard, right? Because Rossini came in when we were in a relegation battle, right? So his first season was very much just trying to steady the ship and get us out of relegation, right? Or to make sure we're not relegated. Because Shotter absolutely killed us. Right? That was a terrible appointment.
Yeah, well, that was his mate,
terrible.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his mate. And apparently, people say that Adrian was then telling him like what teams he should play and stuff. Like it's like, let's play 4-4-2 today. It's like right. So yeah, it was a bit mad. But I do think Rossini's first season or first half season wasn't really criticised the way Volta's has been because we were in such a worse off spot. Like we were near relegation. All he had to do was just not lose games. If we didn't lose any games, we would not get relegated. That was the premise of it. And he basically made our defense really solid and
Yeah.
just made us not concede, and that's fine. And that slow defending football was really good in that season because we needed it because we weren't going to get playoffs. We weren't going to need it to win games. Yeah, we just needed to steady ship. But that second season, then was go time. But I still don't think anyone really criticised Rossini for throughout that season. Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't.
I think because he's one of us. Because people
I think so.
He didn't get the criticism, does he?
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I think I think because he was a player, and also he's just a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's got a big affiliation to Hull, isn't it, with his nana and everything like that.
Yeah. But he's also just he's a nice guy. You know what I mean? Like, he was really, really nice. Like, a lot of people, he was just really. I thought, he was just respectful. And he's communicated really well, really good communicator, and he was really just a really nice guy. But then you look at you look at the games we played, like,
if that's anyone else, they're getting smashed, aren't they? If that's another manager, they're getting smashed, aren't they?
Like, you look at the other games, like you look at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough lost to Derby. Like, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday lost to Leeds 2-0. So can you really think that we're playing that bad? I don't think we are. I think to respectable, I think we're playing just as good as any other Championship team. And I would like to see these signings come in because I do wonder, with all these new signings and when they start to gel and then we start to play the philosophy that we want to, are we actually going to start dominating games and actually play well? And I think we might. I think we actually might. I'm feeling quite optimistic personally. I don't feel like
the January transfer window. It took them 5 to 10 games for the site to gel, which was far too late.
Far too late, yeah. But I still don't think they gelled anyway. I think they gelled, but I think a lot of it was tactics. Again, I just think like you said, we just play attacking. We kind of just. I'll say it again. We just played with Ingram. Obviously, I know we brought in Alsop, but Alsop was so. I remember watching Alsop, and he was really good at distributing. To you, but there were still moments in that game where Alsop had the ball for quite a while because there was just no options to give, and Alsop was determined to launch the ball at someone because he didn't want the fans to boo him, like they did with Ingram, and it was like, I don't know. It seemed the philosophy of Rossini was very much like, you need to.
Well, he was a defender, wasn't he? So he wasn't defensive minded. There's no question about that.
I think Volta Ball. I think there's a big difference. I think if people say there's not a big difference, I think they can have their opinion, but I do think Volta Ball is definitely more attacking. If you just look at the games, look at any game we've played, when the player gets the ball, our centre backs, you can tell Volta has been screaming at them to stop passing it between themselves and pass it back to the keeper.
Which they've got to get used to.
Yeah, when Alfie Jones got the ball in that Leeds game, he was driving it forward. McLaughlin was driving it forward. Except when McLaughlin drives it forward, it's a little bit clumsy, so it sometimes work amazingly well.
I suppose when you're being used to the same system with Rossini, it's going to be difficult to get out of it, isn't it? When you think he wants to be more attacking minded, and they've had defence minded in their minds for a full season, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, 100%. But I think Lewis Coyle's been unbelievable. I think Coyle's been really good.
Gets better, doesn't he? Just Coyle, he's a good captain.
I remember last season. I don't know. Maybe I think he just loves driving the ball forward. He's really good at dribbling. He's got decent. He can. I didn't realize this. He never did this last season. He's got a hell of a ping pass on him. There were so many times in that Leeds game he was pinging it to Miller, and I was going, he can ping a ball. He's really good at ping, to the feet of Miller, not around him, to the feet. So it was definitely. I definitely think Louis Coyle's a really good player.
So Walter's getting the best out of him, isn't he?
100%. I think he's getting the best out of a lot of the players. If you look at a lot of the players that we have, especially in the Bristol game, like I've said, the team's going to be dramatically different after the international break to what it was in that Bristol game. We've signed so many more players and so many more better players. So my logic is that if we've played that good with them players, how good are we going to play with much better players?
Yeah.
So personally, I think I don't know about you, but I think, like, what do you think?
I think we'll do all right. Honestly, like I said, it's difficult to sort of gauge it. So you see the Sheffield United game and the new signs come through.
Yeah,
Based on what we've seen so far, yes, he's getting them to play better, but like I say, it's going to take time to gel, and I think it can be about 10 games before you know where you are, if I'm honest, with Hull
yeah.
City.
Oh, 100%. I think with anyone, and I think with the championship as well. I don't know where a lot of our fan base have got the impatience from, but championship football is hard. Like, top of the league could lose to bottom of the league any day of the
So
week.
it's gone
It's
England like, hasn't it? It's gone England like expectations have gone through the roof.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. It's hard though, right? It's so hard because when you bring in players like Fabio Carvalho, Jaden Philogene, Liam Delap, you bring them all in, and you bring them in, then fans expect them players again. They expect that now,
Yeah,
but you shouldn't expect that because that's a once. Them players them kind of players will never come to a championship club like that. Very, very rarely ever again. Like that
yeah.
team we saw last season, I don't think you'll really see
Everyone was
again.
jealous of it. Everyone was jealous of it, saying Hull was going to smash the league when they got that.
100%. Like we got Fabio Carvalho. Like I couldn't believe we got that on loan. I know it's only a loan, but my God,
Yeah,
unbelievable player. Like, and we got Tyler Morton. Tyler
yeah,
Morton, what a player! Like it was
yeah.
ridiculous. The players we had in that team was like Jacob Greaves. We had a Premier League team. A lot of the players were Premier League quality
They
in
would
that
have
team.
stayed, wouldn't they? Yeah,
Yeah, like you look at Liam Delap, Premier League player now. You look at Jacob Greaves, Premier League player. Cavalier, Premier League player. You look at Tyler Morton. He's a Premier League player, but he might have gone to Bayer Leverkusen, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
he might not be there yet, but he's definitely at that level of quality. So and then you look at so nearly half of our team are now playing in the Premier League this season. So
That's it.
kind of think that we should really be in the Premier League if we had the players in the Premier League, if you know what I mean.
So going forward, Stephen, how often do you want to do these? How do you want to do it after a game, before a game?
Do you want to do it after a game?
After a game is better, is it?
I think so because then we can then talk about.
It's sort of a weekend, Saturday, Sunday job.
Yeah, because then if it's after the games, then we can actually
Yeah,
talk about how well we played in the game. Because otherwise, then we're just speculating towards the games, and
yeah,
then it's
exactly.
always
So
speculating.
trying to be a
So
manager, basically.
yeah, but I'm looking for like with you. I'm looking forward to the Sheffield United game. I think Friday. It's gonna be a hard game.
Yeah, week Friday. We've got a bit of a gap now, aren't we, because of the international break?
Yeah,
So.
it's gonna be a hard game. It's gonna be such a hard game.
But City thrive on playing the top teams, don't they? Especially at home, they always turn it on against a top team.
Yeah. Well, we did. I don't know what we've voted, but we don't know with this kind of new way of playing if we will. But I hope we will. I hope we see some good. I hope we see some new players. That's all I'm saying. I want to see some new players.
I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been good chatting to you.
Good talking to you, mate.
Yeah. Should we leave it there, buddy?
Yeah, we'll leave it there, pal.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, mate.
Bye.
Bye.